the fork in the road, somebody who can find a person who understands analytics, and somebody who is arrogant, and they would get blacklisted immediately. I mean, I remember we blacklisted one of the French brokers. It was so funny. The guy was like adamant. He's like, no, this is like our super private information. It's our competitive advantage. I'm going like, no, it isn't. Like, everyone is giving us their statistics. And then because they don't understand math, because they don't understand how distributions work, they're like, oh, it's sensitive client data. I'm going like, yeah, use a metalog. You just generalize the mathematical relate. Like, give me a formula. I don't care about individual claim. Not like there's like a million way to mathematically share relevant information without exposing anybody and protecting all the sensitive data. And if they don't get it, they don't get it. So they get blacklisted. But then I would get contact with the data analytics team from that brokerage. And then there's a second fork in the road. One is they understand that having data is inherent in the broker-client relationship, and they would share the data when we ask for the data. And then the second option is they would try to sell it to us as if this is like an advanced package, extra service. And I'm going like, this is not extra service. Like, this is literally the only value that you bring to the table. And if you think that we're going to pay extra for the basic value that you should be bringing by default, you're very much mistaken. So that fork in the road we had to cross multiple times as well. And that was interesting, because to this day, major brokers think that selling data analytics is like an extra service, not a fundamental component of the broker conversation and part of the inherent value that they should be giving, but like as a separate paid service. I mean, the guys are clueless. Like, they have really no idea how placement should work and what clients actually need. Because just imagine poor insurance manager sitting there and going like, oh, I need to go back to the CFO, ask for like another 50 grand or whatever the cost is, or 20 grand to justify just getting the loss exceedance curve, which, by the way, which is another interesting thing. When we did get these exceedance curves, most of them were incorrect anyway. So like the quality of data analytics, it wasn't that amazing to justify paying anything for that. So like that, it's a weird world. But we use that to shortlist some of the brokers that we can at least find common ground. And I think that's the key takeaway that I'm trying to share is I needed a way to find common ground with the broker, and sharing and access and transparency around claims data proven to me one such example, because other promises of the competency and the fact that they're working with clients similar to us, all of that didn't really kind of show enough empirical evidence to prove that they would actually be a good fit. So and as time goes by, we did have best relationships with the brokers that were forthcoming with the data when we asked them, didn't like make a big deal out of it, didn't cry me a river about client confidentiality, because they found a way how to preserve it, because it's not that complicated. So shortlisting 3 or 4 good brokers in each line, that was important.